Good evening, sweet world. We are TheCrossCourt. With me right now, he is the number one and one of the OG radio hosts in Davao City. Give it up for Rod Rodriguez. And coming back-to-back episodes, give it up for JD Talento. So, guys, Rod, welcome to the TheCrossPod podcast.
Thank you, Joel.
Si JD kay second time na.
Second time.
Rod, before mag-start lahat, sino gusto mo i-shoutouts?
Of course, to my ever-supportive family. I would like to send a shout-out to you guys, man, for inviting me here. It's an honor. I'm learning. These guys they call me the OG, but I'm cut from a different cloth from way back. Radio days, if you guys remember yung radyo. Medyo, my frequency na medyo hissy and all that. These guys are taking it to the next level. So this is their world. So I'm giving you guys the shout out that you deserve. And of course I would like to send a shout out to my boy Raj, because he's my partner in crime. He's my partner from PS5 to following sports like NBA, UFC, like you guys. You guys are sports fans. So shout out to my boy Raj. He's 11 years old. He's at the mall now. And I'm sure if he could have his way, he would want to be here making samok-samok. But I'm like, when you become a man, then you get to hang out with Tito JD and Tito Joel. Right?
Thanks kayo, bro, for giving me this opportunity.
Oh, man. Thank you.
Actually, dati ko pa gusto maging guest si Rod Rodriguez.
Thank you.
Kay before I started podcasting, isa sa mga early na podcast nakita ko here in Davao is yung sa inyo dalawa.
Okay. Wow. So I told you, I'm his prodigy.
Baliktad.
I mean, when you talk about podcasts and production and all that, this guy, I mean, when I saw his videos, my travel videos, I'm like, I can't do that. I can't do that. So, and he could, and he pulled it off. So, when he, I don't know how did we hook up, man? Did you message me? How was that?
I did message you.
Yeah, you messaged me.
I saw that you were making podcasts already by that time.
Yeah. And we were friends already on Facebook, right? For a while. Yeah. So he messaged me, and I'm like, the kids got grit. And like I said, that's the difference with somebody like me who has experience, work experience, and old school experience versus you guys who have the enthusiasm and the energy, and you who has the resources.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And JD, the talento, who's got the talent too. I mean, it's who knows, right? That's the powerful Hydra, the three-headed monster. Talent, resources, experience. Right? We can't have all three though, right?
So siya ang gitna ng monster.
Siya yung he has all three.
It's really quite different.
Yeah, actually, very exciting jud kayo no na you are here by parang nag-guest sa akin isang celebrity ba?
Grabe. I appreciate that. I rarely hear that, bro. Kasi I cater to a very specific audience. I was talking to JD. Sabi ko, it's either you love me or you hate me.
Yeah.
Because I come from radio. I don't, wala namang podcast noon. When people tune into a podcast, they know it's talk. Mm-hmm. When people tune into radio, you don't know. They want music. Maybe they want ads. Right? But they surely don't want a grown man talking for like 3 hours straight. But I took every advantage of that because I was in radio for the talk. I didn't really care much about the music. All radio stations were playing the same thing. Diba? The only thing that would make you stand out as a form of media is your talent.
Oh.
Right? Pareho lang naman yung songs eh. Yeah, I'm sure if JD did radio as well, he would be just as badlungon as I was.
Maybe, possibly.
Kaya kayo ni JD, bro. Kaya niya.
Oh, naman, yeah. He definitely has the drive. And that's kind of like what I lack now, because being a family man, iba na yung priorities. Oh. But seeing you guys do this, parang nabubuhayan ako.
Kailan last podcast
mo? But I feel like I'm 20 again.
Kailan last podcast mo?
It's not really a podcast, but I do a regular thing with Iceman, who's based in Japan. So we do yung via StreamYard lang. So it's not really that best quality, and I do it at home, and just to sort of keep ourselves lubricated. Kasi the English language, you have to keep practicing that, dude. And, pag sa bahay, kasi I speak in English with my children, but it's guy English. Raj, fix your toys. Time to eat. It's like medyo parang it's like Spanish English. You clean your room. It's not clean your room. It's not slang, diba? And I haven't been reading a lot, and that's that was the trick. So I remember when I was doing radio and we would have our, the mass comm students do their OJT at a radio station. They would always ask, Rod, how come you speak English so well? You haven't been in the States for like decades. I'm like, because I think in English. And I always tell them that. I can speak in Bisaya, Ilocano, whatever, right? But if you think in one particular language, it becomes natural for you. So sabi ko, kaya mahirap yung English for some people or they have a hard time, because nagbabuffer pa eh. Tinatranslate pa nila eh, because they don't think it. Maybe they think in Bisaya, they think in Tagalog. So, it buffers before you actually come out with the proper sentence or the proper statement or remark or response. So for me, it's like it's a natural thing because I think in English. I can speak in Bisaya anytime. That's a natural thing for us. But yung English, you have to practice that. And I haven't been reading a lot lately. So I need something to sort of parang medyo malubricate yung tongue. Kasi gahi, di ba?
Did you grow up sa US?
My puberty years. I was in the US since from, I think, 10 or 11. And I came back, I was 18 or 19. So my dad's worked sa foreign service. So my dad was a diplomat. And then I got to stay with him for the duration of my entire teenage years. So lahat yan, from puberty to poverty.
So nabot mo rin yung mga party na years na doon.
But but not so much though. I didn't really. No, not really. Yung napapanood niyo sa TV sa States ganyan. No man, because I was more like instead of let's say ano ba yung mga party movies that you get to watch now. Let's
Project
say
X.
Yeah, something like that. Instead of that, I was more of like part of the super bad crowd. The nerds and the dorks and I played Dungeons and Dragons,
So, did you receive a wedgie in US?
What happens in the US stays in the US.
Shout out sa nag-wedgie kayo.
No.
Definitely
In
happened.
fairness, I didn't. But there were some scenes in Diary of a Wimpy Kid that I can relate to. Because most of the people there thought I was Mexican.
Okay.
Kasi Rodriguez and then I looked Mexican. Nobody thought I was Asian. Back then, during the 80s, when you say Asian, they think Chinese, Korean, Vietnamese, and there were a lot of minorities there because I stayed in Virginia, so there were a lot of minorities there. Because of Virginia, the reason why we stayed in Virginia, because my dad, the embassies were in Washington, D.C., which was the capital, di ba? Mm-hmm. Virginia is a suburb of Washington, D.C. So lahat ng mga anak ng mga ambassador diplomats, whatever, doon din nag-aaral sa Virginia. So the Asians there really looked Asian. Everybody thought I was Mexican. My Spanish, because we had Spanish as an elective subject, my Spanish teacher would make me read in front of the class. Sabi ko, speaking si Deutsch.
but did you just like body it like, I'm Mexican?
Oh yeah, I did. Because like it's hard to convince them, because when you say Philippines back then, like wala pa namang Pacquiao eh. Nobody knew Philippines. Philippines, like what Philippines? Like, they didn't know. It wasn't a popular country. And like
Erap.
Yeah, and like no, it wasn't even Erap. It was probably like Ramos at the time, or maybe Cory pa siguro. I'm not even sure. But it was really back then. And
Saan in US, bro?
Virginia, Falls Church. So it's a suburb talaga. It's about 15-20 minutes from DC siguro. You cross the
kaya pala, tama pala kayo. Yung remember ko yung dati before when I watched your podcast. You mentioned Washington Wizards.
Yes, I'm a Washington Wizards fan. I'm a Washington Capitals fan. I'm a Washington Redskins fan. And nobody is a fan of those teams. Pero uwi ko ng Pilipinas, lahat ng friends ko are Chicago Bulls fans. Kasi yung heyday ni Jordan eh. I'm like, everyone's like, everyone loves Chicago here. Like, and ngayon Lakers, di ba? Like everybody loves Lakers. With this guy Phoenix, of course. But sorry, man, I'm a Luka fan. Sorry, dude. I apologize.
That's our dad.
may nakita gani ako, no? May nakita ako na post ba na saying na if you want to watch Dahmer, just watch Doncic.
Stop it, man.
Stop it. Phoenix.
Stop it.
Doncic in Game 7.
Yeah. So I don't want people to think na galing sila sa States. You have to think I came back 1993.
Yeah.
That's a long time ago, bro. I haven't been speaking English fluently. I haven't been in an American. I just visited my sister's 2016, but that's a long time ago. I was just my sister's.
So they think that was your advantage and all that?
They thought. Pero dude, kung 1993, umuwi ka ng Pilipinas and you haven't really lived in the US for that long, wala na. Erase na yun.
Yeah.
Right? So if I didn't maintain the things that I did when I was like, I still have my Dungeons and Dragons collection. I still have my wizard stuff. I still, I still have all that stuff, and I keep in touch with it. Like I read it from time to time, and I watch, whatever. I keep my youth alive, that part of my life, because I think that's the most transformative period in your life, yung puberty years.
Yeah.
That's the time when you realize what your favorite song is, who your favorite porn star is.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, it's your puberty. You're starting to become a man. So, and it so happened that it all took place while I was in the US. So, ang laking bagay nun that kind of I retained within me. That's why I'm such a big fan of YouTube, because it allows me to it's sort of like my time machine. Pag may isip ako na cartoons, yung mga pinapanood ko nun, like Mask, Voltron, all that stuff, I can just like search it and I'm a kid again. Or even the commercials that I used to watch in the States, I can watch it on YouTube. It's there. So you get to relive that. And I think that's what I love about YouTube, is you can just go there and search for stuff. You appreciate it more when you're an older person.
Yeah.
Because of the retro aspect of it. The kids
vibe.
now, they like it. My son, he just watches shorts.
Yeah.
May mga adik ang shorts pa.
Oh, but dude, it's like a portal. Once you start with one, wala na.
Yeah.
Kasi
You're gonna
each
last
one's
3
kind of
hours.
related to the other, diba? And they hook you. Hook, line, and sinker. Wala na. Before you know it, you've seen 50.
Yeah.
Wala. Diba?
It's been an hour or two, maybe.
Yeah. They shouldn't call it shorts.
So
They
you
should
feel
call it long.
The
So
longer is there.
anyway, that's my history, folks. Just so you know, parang there's no misunderstanding. Because like I said, people think, galing States yan, ganyan. No, man, come on. Bisaya ko, dude. I mean, I spent more of my life here than I did there. It's just transformative years lang yon, and I retained it, and it struck a chord with me na there's a side to me na basically US rad lang. Unless you grew up in my neighborhood, we can, that's why I get excited about the thought of, let's say, going to Boracay. Because I might meet a foreigner there. She's from Virginia or something. We get to talk. These are stuff that I have sort of kept within me. I can't even discuss with my wife because she can't relate.
Shout out sa wife.
Diba? Irish. Just so they know. And I can, I have friends. Pag nagiinuman kami, I can talk to them about all the hubog-hubog stuff that we talk about. Well, bye. But there's a side of me that I can't bring out because they can't relate. I can talk about growing up in Virginia and Falls Church and cafeteria food and
Yung mga friends mo back in Virginia, may mga nakita ka pa recently.
yes, I'm in touch with them on Facebook. One of them came to Davao and purchased a property in Samal. He's Filipino, but he's Americanized now. It just so happens that he married a woman who is based in China. So for some reason, dude, he thought about the Philippines. And when he came here, he wanted to invest in a property here before flying back. And he thought Davao mas mura yung property. Tsaka mas maganda. So I think they got one in Kambali or something, some nice resort thing in Samal. So we met up. And we actually had a picture. Because when we were kids, we had a picture together playing the Nintendo, yung Famicom.
That was it.
They saw that.
Yeah,
That's how he's Philippines. So we were playing Zelda, the first ever Zelda. So and we did it again. We took a picture.
Lingaw.
The throwback, like 30-something years later.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But but that, we have a secret code that we can converse with that nobody else can get. Kasi yun yung barkada ko nung
Can you relate with kay Phil-Am din to siya na comedian ba? Si Jokoy?
No, of course. But Jokoy is a little bit, I think, older than I am. And Jokoy is more American than I am. Kasi I think his dad's American, and he grew up in a, I think he just when he talks about Filipino stuff, he mainly just refers to his mom.
Yeah.
Diba? Ako talaga Filipino kami. Like pag Christmas Filipino, We speak in English at home, but it's, mainly when you have relatives visiting, Pinoy kayo.
Yeah, Filipino norms still.
Yeah, Filipino norms. I remember when my sister got married, because we were raised in Virginia, and Virginia is not really the most Asian or Filipino locality. It's Asian in terms of Vietnamese, Korean, but not Asian like Pinoy. And my sister got married in LA. And so we all flew to LA to, of course, be there for the wedding. So may mga relatives ako doon, may mga uncles ako doon based in LA. Pucha, dude, Tagalog, Andrew E. yung pinapakinggan, Michael B., Binibirocha, all that stuff. Pinapanood, Batman and Robin with Joey De Leon. Chupa Engwin! Dude! So I was like, and we went to like a video store, and it's a Filipino-owned video store, and they were giving away free popcorn. Lahat ng movies Pinoy. So uso pa yung mga ST no? It's like Christina Gonzalez. So that was like, holy crap. It's like I came home to the Philippines. Talagang like, people literally were speaking Tagalog. Like none of them spoke in an American accent, you know. Like I was like, holy shit! And I came from sorry for swearing, but I came from let's say I came from a more white kind of upbringing, you know, East Coast eh. Then you go to the West Coast and you see there that Pinoys literally made no adjustments. Like kumakain pa rin ng Jollibee, you know, they're watching the same shows. Now they have the Filipino channel. You think they're not watching Provinciano over there? Dude, that's what they're... Wala kaya yung Filipinos na West Coast are different from the Filipinos na East Coast. The East Coast Pinoys are more laid back. They're more kind of like, they're closer to the American sensibilities. The Filipino West Coast, yun yung mga naka Honda Civic na dressed up, you know, they all still have that swag. Payabangan pa rin, pabaan pa rin na ihi, you know. That's the West Coast sensibility. So, I was shocked, the culture shock ako kasi like, oh my God, all their barkadas are Pinoy. They all speak in Tagalog. They all listen to Filipino rap.
Yeah, so it wasn't really that different when you went there.
It felt like I came back to the Philippines. And actually, the funny part was, I couldn't relate. I had a hard time. Because parang, it's like everything was kind of aggressive and obnoxious for me. Because I was used to the East Coast life where you respect your neighbors, you don't play loud music, you don't smoke, you don't... And then I went there and like, they didn't care, man. Like the Pinoys there were like, you know, they had Filipino gangs, like, you know, the gang signs and stuff. I'm like, my uncle had a shotgun in his backseat. I'm like, I wasn't supposed to wear all blue because that's the Crips colors. I'm like, I didn't have to worry about that when I was in the East Coast. Paano kaming gangs doon? So I was actually shocked. So I was this good boy that was taken to this place. I'm like, and I was supposed to finish my high school in LA. Because my dad's term, 6 years, foreign service, ended already. So uwi siya ng Philippines, 2 years siya dito, undersecretary, then assign na naman siya ibang country. And they wanted me to finish my schooling in the States. My sisters are citizens na, they got married to American dudes, so they're cool. But for me, I was like, I had to come home. Because hindi naman ako immigrant status eh, so I was not eligible for the citizenship. So they said, okay, you stay 1 year, finish your high school in LA with your uncle there, and then, you know. And my aunt, who was based in Massachusetts, in Boston, and she wasn't really married, didn't have kids, said, I don't want Rod to grow up in LA because I might be a part of a gang, I might get shot, I might get, you know, mga bisyo and stuff. So she took me in. So I finished my high school in Boston. So I actually stayed there for a year. So there's a little bit of a Celtic fan in there as well.
It's in there.
It's
a little bit.
Anong year ba yan?
This was like 91, 92. I remember it was...
si Virgin, patapos na.
Yeah. I remember the number. Yes. Injured ng back niya. That was the time when Reggie Lewis died. If you remember Reggie Lewis. This was the time when... what's his name?
Si D Brown.
D Brown. Correct. You really know your sports. Huh?
Yeah, he does.
CrossCourt, guys. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Even throwback. That's Celtic history, and you know it, diba? I'm not even sure if you're.
Actually, before isa sa mga content ko sa TheCrossCourt is like trivia quims sa NBA.
Nice.
Ganda sana, wala na ka-prepare ngayon. Pero
nice. I do that with my son. My son's always like, give me NBA trivia like at night. And I only know like 80s and 90s trivia. This was the time, dude, when Shaquille O'Neal was the #1 pick. This was the time when, this was the 90s this was the time when the Bulls beat Portland Trailblazers. That was my last year in high school.
93.
92, 93. Yeah.
Bulls beat the Suns, right? That was 93.
Yes, yeah. No, that was later. 94,
90,
95. The Barkley. Yeah.
Yeah, the Barkley one.
Were you a Suns fan already then? Were you born already then?
No, it's just like nostalgic because if you look at the Suns, it was like Barkley, Nash, all that, Kevin Johnson.
Yes.
Yeah. Jason Kidd.
And then later Sabalos, right?
Yeah. So it was really like difficult to accept the Suns. Like they didn't have any championships and all that, but the closest one was there. So
yeah.
If you think about
recently,
it, just
Chris Paul.
The recent one.
Actually, to be honest, I mean kung na-share ko na sa'yo, bro, pero alam mo na like naging Phoenix Suns fan talaga ako.
Yeah, of course. He's a Steve Nash fan.
Steve Nash and MVP Steve Nash time.
Kahit yung aking pad dyan kay Steve Nash yung aking like mouse pad ko.
Wow.
Pero apat lang ang gina-follow ng TheCrossCourt na page. Davao Occidental Dreamers, Davao Occidental Tigers, kaya gina-cover ko. Ano yung isa? And si Steve Nash ata. Parang, si Steve Nash.
Really?
Parang yun yung point ko. Parang,
Nets fan ka or no? You're not following him that far.
Ngayon, Nets fan ako. Pero kung saan siya mapunta, like, kahit mapunta pa siya sa pinaka-weakest na team, yun yung isupport ko na team.
Okay, let's discuss that a little bit.
Steve Nash simp.
Let's discuss that a little bit. Why do we end up like patronizing or being fanboys of a certain player or a certain team? Even though it's kind of hard to explain. Like, for me at least, medyo justified kasi
because
the
you were
Washington
here from
DC
there.
area.
Grew up.
Isa state's very ganun talaga eh. You know, where you're from, you know, you don't care if your team sucks.
Yeah.
Diba? Like the Cavs fans, diba? How they got hurt when LeBron left. Diba? Because he was like their knight in shining armor and they didn't have a championship yet. But they all were hardcore fans of Cleveland, even though the team sucked way before when LeBron joined. You guys, can you guys justify? Because like
we actually talked about that in the previous podcast.
We did.
Yeah.
But you being a Nash fan,
Yeah.
ano yan? May relatives ka sa Canada? You lived in Canada?
Bro? Growing up kasi, didn't know much about basketball. Kuya ko ang nag-teach sa akin lahat. So Kobe, good. Shaq, good.
Okay.
LeBron, bad.
Lakers for life, ha?
Lakers for life sila. Tapos, isa sa mga nakapa-learn talaga sa akin ng mga players talaga yung mga knowledge talaga. Like mga maging NBA sicko ka na talaga. It's like the NBA Live.
The game.
The game.
Yes.
Tapos ang nangyari nun before is, isa sa mga na-watch ko is, the same kami na-experience ni JD na the 7 seconds or less.
7 seconds or less.
Phoenix Suns.
Okay.
So yun, growing up yun, nakita ko. Tapos like, kita ko sa NBA Live na, naging kasama pala sila ni Joe Johnson. Naging kasama pala sila ni Quentin Richardson. Tapos pagka next year, wala na. Pero nakaabot pa rin ng Western Conference Finals. Tapos Steve Nash is such a humble guy.
Yes, he is.
Like, kanang...
Canadian eh.
Canadian.
Walang kalaban ng Canadians eh. Have you ever heard of the Canadians involved in a war?
Never.
Good guy kayo. And kato, after ato siya palagi first pick ko sa aking mga games and all. Tapos hanggang sa nag-retire siya. Kahit sa Lakers, ako hate ko man ang Lakers na team. Support ko pa rin ang Lakers kasi nandun siya. Tapos yung warrior siya na kahit yung shooting coach siya.
Yeah.
Sorry. Nag-cheer pa rin ako sa kanya. So, shout out sa aking idol. My ultimate dream na mag-guest sa
Steve
podcast.
Nash.
Steve
You
Nash.
never know, bro.
You never know, man.
You never know. See, what's his name? Diba? Alapag is already like assistant. Is he
Kings
still
na
assistant
siya,
coach?
no?
Is he
Kings.
still? Yeah, diba? I mean, it could be the other way around. Not that Nash will be coaching in Hebra or what.
Grabe po.
But you never know. He might visit and might guess.
From Brooklyn to Ginebra.
Or you could do like an online thing. Because I've seen a lot of Filipino shows, news shows, they get to have like the NBA players, diba, via streaming. They can have them
like Zoom or whatnot.
Or whatnot. It's possible, man. With this podcast, if it grows. So Nash fan ka, more I guess it continued and, you know, you remain a Nash fan because of his humility. You know,
actually, parang yun nga, makita ko rin sarili niya kay Steph.
Even the skill,
yes.
The skill level's totally different with Nash.
Yes. Nash kasi is a soccer player, man. So he looks at it that way, diba? He's like, he has a different kind of...
A wide field of view.
Yes. Yung movement, yung passing niya, diba? Yung movement niya, yung angles ng passing niya. He's something else.
Back in pandemic pala, share ko lang back in pandemic, parang gi-play ulit ng YouTube yung NBA na Lakers versus Suns.
2010.
Na-share ko na to sa'yo, diba?
Yeah.
Game 6, yung... Ma-remember mo yung shot ni Ron Artest?
The putback.
Yung putback.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Yun na game nang gi-play ulit. Tapos gi-watch ko yun ulit. Tapos gi-stop ko na yung nabang shot ni J. Rich for the tie. After na, hindi ko nagitawa. Gi-chat ko agad si Steve Nash after. Sabi ko na alam ko hindi mo ito mabasa pero ito talaga yung last chance na ma-champion sana kayo.
Yeah.
Like,
that was
legit talaga. Like, this was your year. Like, napag-usap, this was your year.
Yes.
Pero
Ron Artest guy.
Because after 2010, they traded Amari already.
Nick.
So they only had Robin Lopez, Gortat.
Grant Hill played for them too, right?
Yeah, Grant Hill.
Ano pa si Goran, di ba? Goran
Andun si
Dragic.
Goran.
Yes. That was ibang klase yun.
Sino ba ang lineup ng Wizards growing up?
Me growing up? Well, I was a fan of the Wizards, but they were still the Bullets. So we're talking about like...
Pag-change pa nila yun kasi medyo...
Yeah, because there was I think there was an incident shooting din sa Washington DC. There was a Washington DC shooter. I think that's when they changed it. But ano pa? Chris Webber,
Jordan.
Well, not really during the Jordan years. I was kind of like not following them at the time. I was, I guess, busy with radio, but It was more of like the Weber time, and then Juwan Howard, the Michigan
Juwan
Fab
Howard.
Five.
Fab
Yeah,
Five,
those
yeah.
two guys. And then they also had Gugliotta. There was a shooter, Tom Gugliotta. I remember. I think they traded him to white guy who could shoot the three. Tom Googs. They called him Googs. And then he ended up playing for the Timberwolves.
Oh, familiar.
They even had like Rod Strickland and those guys. And then it died down. And then I think it was the Jordan years na with Kwame Brown and all those guys. And then I became a fan again with Agent Zero. When Arenas came in,
Arenas.
Gabi.
yeah,
Busy ang Arenas.
and
Different.
that was a strong team, huh?
Yeah.
That was a strong team. Larry Hughes,
Larry Hughes,
those
yeah.
guys.
Caron Butler.
Caron Butler, and of course, what's his name?
Andre Blatch.
No, the guy who got traded for Vince Carter.
Toronto, Terence Ross. Ah, hindi.
No. Forward, far forward. Bald guy. Number 2 pick yata.
What's that? Toronto to Wizards? Wizards to Toronto?
No, not it wasn't Toronto. It was Golden State. It was Golden State, and then I think hold on. I'm not sure, but he's part of that
confusing
trade.
Naging Wizards pa si Carter?
Jameson.
Anton
Jameson. Wasn't he part of the Carter thing?
Ano ba siya? 20K club. Nakaabot ng 20,000 points.
Yeah,
points.
yeah.
Ano.
Anton Jameson.
That was a good player.
Yeah,
man.
that was a good team.
He was very versatile as a
He's-
4.
Agent Zero scored 60 on Kobe, dude.
Yeah.
In LA.
He was the first person, I think, that would shoot the ball and not look.
Yeah.
Yung sa
Yeah, he
gilid.
was the
Tapos na
first.
shot.
Yeah.
Hindi pares kila Kemba, ila Soggy P.
So Aggie P tried to do it.
Yeah. He was the first
Si
guy.
Kemba,
Yeah.
nag-shimmy siya.
Oh.
So I remember when we play basketball, yung kanto-kanto lang na basketball, like, I would copy his yung free throw niya 3 times.
Yeah,
Ano
3
ba?
times.
3 times. And then I always wanted yung
Sino ulit sabi mo kanina yung 3-pointer na ano?
si Gugliotta.
Bigyan mo ako ng
Tom Gugliotta.
another random lang na ano. Bigyan niyo ako ng random na NBA name, tatlo.
Random?
Any mystery.
Okay.
There you go.
Hold on. Like old school?
Any. Pwede new school. Kailangan si Dean. Kung kailangan si Dean Wade.
Okay. Dean Wade.
Ako lang
Celtics.
una.
Sige, go.
Sige. Vladimir Radmanovich.
Yes.
Ano yung LA, di ba? Far forward?
Naging LA din siya.
Far
Lakers.
forward, yeah. He kind of reminds me of a more European-looking Larry Nance Jr.
Yeah,
Di ba?
yeah,
Di ba, medyo?
Yeah, Vladimir Radmanovich.
Sasha
He was
Vujacic.
bald, yeah.
Sasha Vujacic.
Sasha,
No. Wally Serbia.
Of course.
Serbia,
Yes,
yeah.
3-point guy, right? Timberwolves.
Wally was good.
Wally Serbia kind of reminds me of Gugliotta. Parang same sila
Wally.
But Wally played with Garnett ba?
Nagsama sila. All-star sila dalawa sabay.
Sila Sprewell? Right? I think Sprewell.
Ay, hindi sure kung nagsabay. Parang.
Sabay pa sila na
Parang.
Marbury or wala.
Pero at
I
that
think wala na
time,
si Marbury. I'm not sure.
Knicks na ata.
I think Sprewell was there pa.
parang. Pero parang ang stock ni Sprewell ato kay parang pababa
Baba
na.
na. From New York na
Parang
yun,
nag-peak
Sprewell.
na yun doon sa yung sa New York niya.
The choke thing.
Sayang no.
That guy has his shoes though. Sayang.
Alam mo na yun na New York, yun yung only number 8 seed in NBA history na nakaabot ng finals.
You were the only number 8 seed.
Oh,
yeah, we hit the
alam mo
finals.
yan.
Yeah.
Alam mo yan.
That New York team, no.
I didn't know that they were the only ones that
They
made
were the
the
only
final.
one. Tapos number 8 seed na nakabot ng finals. Tapos rin kasi lockout season yun. Pero mga nakalaban nila sa on the way kay yun ba yung time na like yes wala na Chicago.
Yeah.
So like oh shit. Number 1 ang Supersonics nun. Tapos
Yeah.
natalo
For
ng
grabs.
natalo ng New York Knicks. Legit.
Yeah. Can you imagine, no?
Parang dream lang yun nila dati ba nila Reggie Miller,
Yeah.
Patrick Ewing.
Yeah.
Pero
Were you a New York Knicks fan?
hindi. Pero I have so many friends na New York Knicks.
Ako talaga yung the Wizards thing that became a fanboy again with the Wizards. Because at the time, at the same time then, that was the time when I started playing video game basketball again. Because that's when 2K took off na. Nag-next gen na yung Xbox 360. Because I bought the Xbox 360 when it came out. And my first game for the Xbox 360 was yung live, yung si Wade on cover. And I didn't like it. It was like...
NBA Live 2000?
2006 yata.
2006. Oh,
Yeah.
2006 pala.
2006 yata. And I'm like, I didn't like it. And then they came out with 2K. Kasi I was playing 2K na sa Dreamcast pa. Sega Dreamcast. That was the first with Iverson. 2K1, 2K. Everyone was
2K1,
playing live. I was playing live too. I mean, of course, Live 98, Live...
Same sila shooting lahat.
Oh, tsaka live kasi was more arcadey.
Yeah. And you remember the free throw? It was like a line. Like,
Yeah. You have to,
center it.
Yes, that's right. You're talking about live or Dreamcast?
Live.
But the Dreamcast one is the trigger. You have to put the both triggers together. Like you have to press the triggers together. So if you're nervous, medyo shaky, hindi siya mag-align.
Yeah.
But not a lot of people knew how to do that. They were like, paano ba to? Kasi when you bought, pirated games back then, they didn't really come with instruction booklets.
Yeah.
Hindi mo photocopy lang yung cover.
Feel na lang.
Yeah,
So you have to figure it out.
Yeah, so parang sumabay yung time na when Agent Zero took off and then the 2K games took off. And that's when Live started going down na. And 2K started going up.
Remember ko yung NBA Live 2007 na laro niyo ba yun?
Started 8.
2007.
Tracy McGrady ang cover.
Atimac. I think on the I played that on the PSP.
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 Share ko sa kanya. Share ko sa kanya.
Good.
Ako never nag-PSP sa akin life. Tapos recently sa aking birthday, as a gift to myself, nagbuy ako ng PSP, may mga vintage. Ginabaligyan ko dra sa may likod sa Gmall. Tapos ipang sige kuya.
TMTM.
Kaya butangag NBA, WWE, GTA, Dragon Ball.
Sa BMTM yan ba, no?
Di ko alam DMT.
Harap ng San Pedro, tabi ng
yun.
Fried Chicken.
That was it.
BM, that's my source too. I used to go BMTM. BMTM, bro.
So, after that, okay, sige lang kung dula. Say gani ganang sometimes that when I work here, because not only ito ang business ko, pero yung sports coverage siya, sideload, nag-edit ako, nag-canva ako. So, paminsan hindi ko lang ginadala ba kasi makalaro ako. Alam mo yung NBA ballers?
Yes, of course.
Yung parang
bling.
Ang kagabi late ako nakatulog kasi naglaro ako, yung ginatry ko i-unlock si Yao Ming ba.
So grinding.
Tapos ano yung kay si Yao Ming kay kanang tumbling mga mga nana, di ba?
Yes.
Kay nana.
Para yan, it's like NBA. There's another one. I have it on the PS5 yung tumbling din. My God.
Jam?
Playgrounds? No, not
Playgrounds.
Playgrounds. Basta meron din ganyan. Yung mga dribbling mo sa Xbox din may ganun. It does get addicting, no? Kasi maka-unlock ka din ng moves eh. Di ba? Hindi lang players, maka-unlock ka din ng moves.
Pag Rod, ilang years ka na ba naging isang gamer?
Dude, sabihin ka na lang, I started 1986. So maybe
Super
your parents
Mario.
weren't born yet.
Super Mario first.
Yes. Actually, Atari pa. But hindi pa naman kami gamer nung Atari kasi Atari wasn't really that immersive eh. Parang ano lang. Kasi yung auntie ko, yung sister ng mom ko, the one I went to school with, nagpadala ng Atari 2600, yung may joystick na combat. So we had that. And then hindi pa naman gamer yon kasi very babaw lang yung gameplay niya. And then when you went to the States na, my dad came home, he bought the Nintendo Power Set, which included the light gun. So my Duck Hunt, he bought Legend of Zelda, and then it was Super Mario Brothers, and then yun na, my Duck Hunt. So ang maganda doon is not only was it my first exposure to a platformer, yung mga jump and Mario, but it was also my first exposure to an RPG, Zelda, role-playing game. So experience, So the Duck Hunt, shooting lang yun eh. So that was my first, and then that was the time you have to understand dito sa Philippines kasi parang yung family computer was iba yung culture ng family computer here kasi I think yung mga games nyo merong mga 500 in 1, mga ganyan, di ba? Nagkaroon ng ganun. Sa States, bawal yun eh. So, you can't have like more than one game in one cartridge back then. So, you had to, parang Christmas or birthday lang ako mabilhan. So, ang nangyari niyan...
Only one game.
Only one game. So, ang nangyari niya, we would trade with friends. I would trade with classmates, ganyan. Tapos, even yung mga codes, yung sa Contra, up, down, left, right, we would trade that. That was like a secret thing. So, that was the start of my gamer. And then, from then, I owned pretty much all the consoles na kasi I was working already at the golf course, sa parang restaurant and the golf course itself. So, I was already earning money and all my money went to video games.
Until now, you still play, di ba?
Yes, man.
Have you ever considered become a streamer or like
It's a
gamer
Twitch.
streamer?
I don't think I'm good enough. Like I'm not really I play mostly sports games now. Kasi I don't the last epic game that I finished was God of War. My son finished Red Dead Redemption 2, which is a pretty big game. On the PS5, dinownload lang niya. So that's originally a PS3 game yata, PS4 game. So I haven't really been doing the main long epic games na sports games lang ako. Kasi yung sports games kasi you can finish in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I can play a round of 2K in 30 minutes. I can play a
yung
round
mga grind mo sa my team, bro. Maganda yun
Oo, yun. I grind. But you also spend a little bit.
Buy some VC.
Buy some VC. Yeah. Of course, man. Pack luck.
You have
No,
to. You have to.
You have to. Especially now, like, if you're... But iba yung dynamics nung if you haven't played the 2K now, the next gen 2K, it's really different from the previous two next gen. So if you were to like classify me as like what I'm defined as, I think the first thing probably would be as an artist, because my first love and God-given gift is drawing. Some people, basketball, whatever, podcast, whatever, Ako talaga drawing. I love to draw. I love to sketch. I have a very imaginative mind. So yan talaga yung God-given gift. Next would be probably gamer. Not that I'm a good gamer, but it's something I never outgrew.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna be like 50 in like how long? And then I'm still playing. I'm still more enthusiastic than my son is. When we walk inside Data Blitz, mas excited ako. I mean, not very many dads were that age, diba? Most of my friends, wala na, relax na, go-golf na, and all that crap. I'm nothing against golf, but I'm just saying, I have not lost that side of me na I'm still an armchair jock. Kasi tanggap ko na I'm not athletically gifted in team sports. When I was in grade 7 and grade 8, I did Greco-Roman wrestling. We'll get to wressling. I did Greco-Roman wrestling, which is the collegiate wrestling. Yung, my gear and stuff. And I did well. Because the thing why I excelled in individual sports is you go up against people your size. And kayo lang. So when I did the Greco-Roman wrestling in grade 7 and grade 8, I excelled. Because I was going up against Vietnamese kids. I was going up against the little kids. Diba? Mga Indian kids,
Ginabully lang yung Rodwo.
Hindi naman, pero like at least they're my size. But let's say if you play football, you play against freaking dude, 13-year-olds, they are 6'2".
Yeah.
200 pounds. Are you crazy? Diba? I mean, even someone like JD coming towards you to tackle you, you can't.
You'd break every bone.
Dude, I was like, 80 pounds when I was in grade 7, grade 8? I was a tiny ass. So I was like one of the shortest guys in class. So I never excelled in team sports. Even here, when I play basketball, I know how to play basketball. I know the rules of basketball. But I don't have that scientific, yung gifted na parang, alam mo, yung peripheral vision, knows for the ball, marunong mag-timing sa rebound. I have friends na never had formal basketball training, but dude, may pulso, knows when to jump at the right time, knows for the ball, knows, yung parang, nakachinelas, pero ang galing, right? Pinoys are gifted with that, and I don't have that team sport thing in me. So when I did Taekwondo, I also got promoted. I did pretty well because individual lang din. Pag nag-spark ka, kayo lang din. And yung kalaban mo, kabelt mo lang din. And when you play basketball, you don't know the skill level of the people you're playing with. Yeah. So, and the thing with basketball is, if you start playing with people who are mediocre, you may be the best. But once you start playing with a good guy, dude, you're the worst. Diba?
I can imagine.
Diba? Kasi I remember playing, we had the court sa Bacaka when I came back, I lived in my lola's house, we were in Bacaka Road, and that school there, basketball court yan. That was donated by the Dizon family, so we had a full court. So, laging may laro, and I would always hear it kasi walking distance lang from my house. And I came home with Jordan 6s. The Jordans that Jordan won the and then later naging Air Jordan. So I had the Jordan. So ako lang yung may Jordan. Eventually binigay ko sa isang neighborhood friend. But anyways, I would go there. Si Vince Hizon used to play there pa.
Ooh.
Because Vince Hizon is related to the Palma Hills. Oh. And the Palma Hills are our neighbors. So, but at that time, hindi pa siya in PBA. Ano pa siya?
NBA.
Hindi pa nga yata siya NBA. I don't think he did NBA. I think he was a burger machine, like, ano pa. And then Ateneo. I think Ateneo pa. Parang something like that.
Commercial.
Commercial.
Commercial player lang.
Yeah, hindi pa nga PBL. I don't think PBL. So I used to play. But anyway, I would go there. And I would be decent. I could score ganyan. And then I realized later, it's because my neighborhood friends allowed me. Kasi,
late
wag natin galawin to kasi, di ba, bago lang to eh. Galing States, kawawa. Yeah, later ko na na-realize. When I started playing with like, mga taga-Toril, mga, grabe. Like, gisi yung labi ko.
What if may parang like Mike moment siya na, galing ako eh. It must be the shoes. Siya ba?
Kaya nga, I stick to where I'm good at. Controller. I know, Mike. If I have any advice to the people out there, if the shoe doesn't fit, don't force it. No, the best thing you can do for yourself is to know at the earliest stage what your strengths and weaknesses are. And not to force it. Kasi that's what I noticed with Pinoys. Pinoys, usually, tendency natin, masyado tayong ambisyoso. And we bite off more than we can chew. And we're decent at a lot of things, but we don't excel at one particular thing. You look at a Pinoy bay, alam lahat. Naga-basketball, pero nerd din, pero computer geek din. In the States, if you're a computer geek, that's all you are.
Yeah.
You don't see a computer geek playing basketball on Friday nights. In the States, no. If you're a jock, you're a jock. That's it. If you're in the Philippines, everybody's an every guy. So ang nangyayari, we spread ourselves thinly. We invest in things that we're not gonna excel at. We invest in things like this thing that you're investing in. Dude, this thing is your world. It will last. You know, you will pursue this. This is not something that you're trying out. Like ako, bumili ako ng mahal na gitara. I'm never gonna perform live. I'm not gonna be John Mayer, dude. I accept that fact, right? I'm gonna sell my guitar eventually, you know, the gadgets that came with it, because at the end of the day, my strength is playing video games.
Yeah.
Ikaw talaga bagay si Rod mag-streamer ba? Magaling mo siya mag-usap, ang good. Magaling ka mag-usap.
Thanks, man. Sorry for taking up all the time. But guess nyo naman eh. So, okay lang.
Of course.
You guys are doing this all the time. I'm here panagsa lang.
At least medyo matagal ka na nila last podcast. At least lahat ng mga ilang months na ba yun? Since last?
Matagal na kami pa siguro kami ni JD.
Sige, labas mo
yeah, man. I mean, and it's a different audience. Diba? Kasi you have a bigger audience. I saw your, yung ano nyo was what, 700 views? I watched it. Ilan yun? Yung last episode nyo that you had?
Around, ano lang yun, 200 something.
No, I saw one that was like parang 600 something.
Baka iba yun?
Ayun sa akin.
Kayo din yun? Iyo ba yun?
That
was you.
Sa kanya.
That was his post.
Dito siya nag-ano. Dito siya nag-ano.
That was yours. It was 600.
Sneakerheads.
Man, that's a lot, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, let's talk about sneakers then.
Doon siya galing actually, ligapon.
You guys have that pressure ba na, like, let me ask you guys, ako naman ask lang. You guys have that pressure na since you're, you know, I don't know if your mindset is always like the more the merrier. Like it's always about the views or it's all about the quality. You know, like, for example, are you doing this for yourself or are you doing this for the audience?
Okay. Okay lang ako.
Yeah, of course, because it's your studio, man.
It's my studio.
It's your show. Yeah, it's your show.
Ganito yan. Nag-start ako around 2019, TheCrossCourt with podcast. Grabe siya, ipakita ko kay JD, parang phone lang gigamit namin, tapos ang recording kay phone lang din. Tapos, gabi ka, tapos ang thumbnail din kay cringe. Parang,
pero back then, okay na yun.
Pero that then okay na niya. Pero, sige ako release ng content from 2019 to 2021. Sige, release. Tapos ako, interested din sa basketball. So, ginalagyan ko ng Spice of Basketball yung aking content. So, siguro pinakamalaki ko siguro na views is around 800 views. So, kung sa Facebook lang or 700 views. Okay lang, nag-record pa dyan. Shoutout sa aking girlfriend. Basta nag-record lang sa laptop. Okay lang yan. I-press lang ulit ang red. Shoutout sa Uyab. Maka-edit talaga ako nito mamaya. Okay lang yan. Basta nag-record pa dyan sa laptop.
Alright.
Anyways, sige ako hit or miss ng mga content, podcast vlogs, and trivia quizzes like unsa man makahatag sa cog break. Ana good.
Yeah.
Tapos pagdating yung time na na-lift na yung basketball ban level 2 something dito sa Davao.
Yeah.
Doon ako nag-try attempt na i-pursue ko na yung sports ko na videography. So pag try ko na 10 seconds na video like Eric Dulay from the logo.
Yeah.
Or like let's say
Just and one.
JD Talento cannot be stopped. Mga ganyan. Yung mga captions ko ba?
BuzzFeed captions.
Shock man ako mo. 1K, 2K views. Sige daw, patuloy natin. Every Sunday ako nag-record sa ball club namin. Tapos garaan ko lang he was on a mission. Or he was unconscious. Or gana lang ba? He can't miss from 3. Tapos after nun, shoutout sa aking friend, Mayor Dinko Bautista. Gibigyan ako ng break for Davao Occidental Dreamers. Nice. Tapos after nun is, pagdating ko dun sa Cebu, dun kami nag-cover for 2 months. From around 700 followers to 12K.
Wow.
12K followers. So thank you sa tanang nag-follow sa
This guy, man.
Okay, man.
Gusto ko magpakita ng isang lang.
Yeah, go.
Sige.
Yeah. 12K, man.
Oh.
What's your biggest
Following?
100 ka ba?
Nasa 1K lang ako.
1K mostly. No, I mean like views.
Views?
For a particular
most that I
content.
had 4K.
That's a lot, man. That's a lot already.
He has 25K, man.
I know. That's why he has this.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
Amazing guy.
I didn't know that. Well, how long has this been around? This particular setup.
Just a month, I think.
Just a month, okay.
Yeah.
But he's been like you guys have been doing shows now for.
No, actually, no. He was doing his own thing, and it was like kind of
at home lang.
Yeah, I was like kind of stagnant myself because of work and all that. So I wasn't really able to release content that much. But since this is here, I mean, I can assist Jewel all the time. Then get free episodes. I mean, this is a more presentable, kumbaga.
Yeah. This feels good, and it
feels professional.
Gives you a certain kind of energy, but no?
Yeah.
It's like
You really feel like you're on a show.
yes, you're on a show like with this setup and all that, and it's the cool thing about it is just kay lang. It's not like a company.
Yeah.
It's not a corporate thing.
Yeah.
You're not answerable to anybody who's like a hire, whatever. You guys have that creative freedom. Ayun na, this is it.
Imagine if you like had a monitor so that
Look at that, man. 99K, it's 592.
500K.
That's his? 592K views? What the heck?
Imagine, man.
What the? 592. Yeah, they're 3-second views, but still, that's 592K.
Yeah.
You reach almost 1 million, dude.
Yeah. Yan yung... Ano, bali? Sige, go daw. Go daw, B. Diyan may play on sa second screen. Ay, gininimise mo. Wait.
There. It's back.
Ayan, there you go. I-play mo lang yan, flash mo lang. Click mo lang yung ano. Ha?
Minimize.
ay sumisid sa
Oh,
gilid
yeah.
ng himig ng aking pag-ibig. Tsongke ang piniling ihitid maliban sa kisig ng tinig ng parang sa tenga ninyo ay nararo. Wala
It's
sa
one of
inyong
the players.
mananalo pag ako ang dumalo sundalo sa bunot ng
See that
baril
finish,
ko
man?
magkago ng
Yeah.
talo.
See, man?
Maingat ang
That's
lakas
Jordan-esque.
ng pili ng inyong manlalaro. Kasi I didn't come to play with you chump bitches who think this a fun business or one click is that'll come and buck when it's none witness.
Enjoy siya daw kami dyan. 2 months kami.
Sitting in your sleep like I wanna stuck riches, but that ain't the case.
Actually, for the win yan.
I'm leaving holes in your humble bullet patterns. Face na sumalangit na nung ako yung pinanganak nung 1,000 na put
High flyer talaga yun siya.
Yeah, di na to patas sa makatarong pag ako sumali.
From Davao.
Why? Tayong
Davao.
katulad.
From
Mamit na
Davao.
tatuloy. Why? Die up in the coffins where you were destined to be. I'ma just rest in the lead and flex on your
Yan sa yan yung nag-rebound kanina, gikuha sa beda. Ito siya, kaya gusto ko i-spoil lang kung saan siya nag-commit na school. Ganda magod siya na concept, like, after ng liga, kaya like, saan mag-commit ito na player na school? Parang gano'n.
Because they have choices, no?
Oh, they have choices.
Daming offers yan, for sure.
Daming offers. Gusto ko i-spoil actually, pero hindi ko na, sa sunod na lang kay last time, wala kasi siya last ano. Kasi ito lang, clue na lang, very close ito na school sa akin, tas may chance na wala, na scholar siya doon.
UP?
Ateneo.
Hindi ko lang mag-drop ng ano.
Ano school ba to?
Ateneo.
Ado ko. So anyways, so kato, gapo, I just, para sa akin, parang naging consistent na talaga ako and pero ngayon, another challenge, Rod. Kay, yun parang ang sports videography, kay feel ko na medyo nakapa ko na.
Yes.
Yung audience pa, yung market.
Yeah.
Pero ang podcast, wala pa.
Yeah, you have that already. Well, that's another thing under your cap, di ba? Like for me, yung radio, kapa ko na. Pero yung podcast, di pa? Hindi pa, I mean...
Sure, kaganda na.
No, by the thing, dude, the thing is, unless I hire somebody to do everything else post-prod, I have to know how that thing works also, diba? I can't always either be paying somebody or always depend on someone else.
Yun yung overwhelming, no? Yung mga things na kailangan mo gawin para
Mga
magawa
nitty-gritty ba?
This guy knows how to do all eh. I think he does, right?
Hard
Doesn't he?
carry. Hard carry.
He knows, right? And I think the hardest part, like say, I think everybody would thought vlogging was easy. I mean, podcast is one thing, but I'm pretty sure when people saw like vlogging and then people made money out of it, like sila Mark Queens and all these guys, and we all thought like, kaya naman yan. And when we tried it, and then we saw ourselves, and like,
You cringe about it.
and then when I saw this guy do it, I'm like, nah, he can do it. He has the swag. He has, the stability. I guess when he holds it, he knows when to do the mga. I mean, you just considering how limited these resources are. Yun mo makikita eh.
The charisma sa
Diba?
ni JD.
Like yung galing ni Pacquiao nung nasa blow-by-blow boxing pa siya. Makita mo na eh. You didn't have to see him at MGM Grand with Freddie Roach training him and all that. You already saw that the guy already had it. So, you know, and I think that's when you know. And it's same with you before you had this setup. You're already doing your thing on your own.
Yeah.
I mean, you were doing that, I think, before this. Diba? The stuff that you were releasing. So if you can do it with limited resources, and limited experience or whatever, dude, come on, man. You know? And the podcast aspect of it, for me, my advice is, because they always, and I've always just followed my heart. Like, you know, I come from, when I started radio, dude, radio is corporate. There are do's and don'ts.
Yeah.
There are rules that I have to abide by. The hardest thing to combine is artistic freedom and rules. When you're an artist, you don't want to be confined by rules.
Yeah.
Because
Actually.
if you're just a machine, fine. You just do as you're told. But I'm not a machine, man. I had my own artistic. Can you imagine being told to do something by somebody you feel like is less of a talent than you are? You know how insulting that is to you? Diba? Sasabihan ka na, mas magaling ka pa mag-English, sasabihan ka paano mag-English. Mahirap yun, right?
Dapat ganito mo sabihin.
Diba? And you know you're not naman superior, but you know you're like, come on. Diba? It's like listening to somebody preach who's in grade 1 and you're already in college.
Yeah.
And you have to sit through that crap. And just because of the title that person has, that they're your boss, you have to deal with it.
Shout out sa boss ni, Rod.
Wala na. Boss ko, wife ko. That would be my wife. If she says, cut the podcast. But like with you, you're the boss. So your fear is lessened by 1 billion times. Because you only have failure to fear. And you only will have failure if you do something that you're not comfortable in.
Kayo.
Diba?
Always ako anxious.
Kayo ba? Kung asa yung strength ba? Like for example, if you want to do your podcast in Bisaya, dude, you know how strong these freaking Facebook Bisaya short clips videos are?
Yeah.
My wife watches that till 3 a.m. Sabi ko, ganyan na lang kaya ako. But then again, like I don't have the humor of, because like, you know, like if, for example, if you're gay and you have gay humor, dude, it's automatic, you're funny. Right?
Right.
Like I have gay friends and they do videos and it's effortless for them. They're just funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's kahit
Right off the bat.
Diba? Like you watch your videos, katawanan, ginitawanan eh. Diba?
Yeah.
And not to sexualize them or anything, but it's just that they have that humor. They're gifted with that humor. And I cannot imitate that. So that's their world. Panindigan ko na lang yung world ko, even if my audience is very limited. You know? Panindigan ko na lang English. Yun lang yung, wala naman akong competition sa Davao dun eh. Ikaw, pagdating sa sports coverage and all that.
Marami na, nag-grow na.
Yeah, but still,
Ever
man.
since nag-start ako nung ganun ba, kaya na-feel ko ba na may mga na rin ba?
But you're ahead. So they're just as good as how far you want them to be. Kasi sinusundan ka nila.
TheCrossCourt.
Diba?
Original.
Sinusundan ka nila. So always pave your own path. You know, and what works for one guy might not work for the other guy. Like, so I always told this guy, like when I saw his videos, I'm like, dude, man, I don't look at it and compare it to like Will Dasovich. Will Dasovich has unlimited resources, man. That guy, itsura pa lang niya, may views na siya.
True.
He doesn't have to talk. You know what I'm saying? He's a freaking model, man. You know, he's
He
a
can just
commercial.
walk and have views.
Exactly. He doesn't have to exert any effort. In fact, if you dissect it, like for example, if you watch some of the guys that you put on the pedestal na iniidolo natin, baguhin mo yung itsura niya. The content's nothing.
Right.
It's bland.
Right.
There's nothing. Just that may itsura lang. You know?
Because their personality already before it.
Okay. Sino nga yung naglaban na walang bra?
Ivana.
Si Ivana. Ivana Alawi. Make her like a regular looking chick.
Na naglaba.
Oh, naglaba. Or whatever it is that she does on her show. You think it's gonna generate that many views? Well, siguro maybe dahil hindi nagbayad. Meron pa rin. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, don't compare yourself. Like, because your star comes from a different place. Sila siguro sa itsura nila. Sila siguro sa quality because of the money that they have, they can afford. I noticed most of the fastest rising YouTubers who do vlog and stuff, whether American or local or whatever, mayayaman.
Right.
They're rich.
Big Boy Chang.
They can dude. Big Boy Chang, dude. What?
Shoutouts.
Dude, what's his name? Fat Joe? Lean back. Just give him a
Yeah.
shout out. just give him a shout out. Like I saw Fat Joe on like an episode of Cool Kicks, I think.
Yeah.
And he literally mentioned that that Big Boy Cheng saw his collection and that he saw Big Boy's collection. And like, I'm like, holy crap, that's a Pinoy, man.
Yeah, it's a Filipino.
A guy in a third world country being the king of
Sneakers.
sneaker culture.
Yeah.
That's freaking crazy.
And pop culture as
And
well.
pop culture. Yeah, because he has all this collection
Yeah,
of other
all
crazy
the
stuff.
collection.
I mean, he has a barber shop in his...
Yeah.
I mean, dude, you hook him. You have him for an interview.
I actually had a shout out.
No offense to
from him
Julius
before.
Babo, but I think your content would be more interesting.
Yeah.
He's just friends with Julius Babo.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
that actually is a dream to have Big Boy live in the flesh. Whenever
You can do
he's in Davao,
You can do that.
for sure.
Definitely. You can do
Well,
that.
what I'm holding on actually is what you said before when we had the podcast. That's the only thing that I'm holding on still, even if I'm not creating that much content anymore. It's really I don't care if people likes it or not. I'm gonna do my own thing
Yes.
because eventually, one
person?
person.
You'll find somebody.
Yeah, we'll find somebody that would like it as well. So I'm really holding on to that, and I watch a lot of Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yes.
Gary V always says that.
Inspirational, no?
Always says that you can try and fail in the next 10 years and you'd still be fucking young.
True.
Imagine I'm 25.
You're young, yes. That's
Yeah,
true.
I'm 25. I can fail and try for the next 10 years.
You have to
try
rub it in,
this
huh?
out. Yeah.
I'm twice his age.
Yeah.
Nakita ako
Imagine.
kay Rod, mag-bless na ako.
So that's the only thing I'm holding on. I mean, I'm still young. I can try and fail for the next
That's
5,
true.
10 years. and
Dude,
then-
remember, you don't lose, you learn.
Yeah.
Don't say fail.
Yeah.
You learn. You learn.
Patingin na yung yung picture mo with Big Boy Chen.
Actually, it was back in 2019 when
Sayang,
I
i-flash
went
na
to
natin nun
Manila.
yung i-flash na natin yung during podcast ni
Oh no.
Oh, yeah, the sneaker thing
Oh.
episode? Yeah, because that guy is, I'm telling you, man, he is international sneakerheads. They come over to the Philippines just
Yeah.
to visit his place, just to check out his collection. Ganun siya katindi. I didn't know. I mean, I'm not even a sneakerhead. Well, at least not part of that culture, but, I'm a fan. Like, just the fact that,
Shout out Spau Kicks.
well, they own Uratech, so.
Yeah, they own Eurotex as well.
Oh my God, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
And it's so cool because it's just the two of you.
Yeah.
Is that a shop? That's a shop. Or one of the shops that he...
Nakita natin sa screen.
Does he own that shop?
Yeah.
He owns that shop, right?
This is his
Garden, that's like-
studio, Secret Fresh.
Secret Fresh.
It's like his art studio as well. So he has the whole ground floor for himself. It's actually a very cool story because we were already leaving Secret Fresh
Gihag
by
mo
that
siya?
time.
Gihag mo siya.
No, man. that would be so
Dude,
weird.
I would be like...
Na kung si Steve na siya kumakita niya, yun ako na ako.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ako, that's a good topic too, like subtopic.
Yeah.
Kinsa man ang makita niyo man, you would really be like awestruck.
Ikaw,
Man, that's a good one, that's a good one,
JD,
that's a
meron
good
ka?
one.
Wala actually.
Oh,
Wala,
Steve
wala akong
Steve
hug
Nash.
him when you see him
That's a
type
good
of
one,
guy.
That's a good one.
Ano man, so Phoenix Suns siguro, i-hug mo siguro yung una.
Book, maybe book, man.
D-book.
Yeah, just like to console him.
Yeah. Oh man.
For the Lucas
Yeah.
special.
The Lucas special.
Luya yun niya, bulag pag silang Kendall.
Okay, so bulag na.
Daw.
Oh shit.
They're still together naman, pero not really.
Updated ka ha, sa love life ha.
Of course.
Lumalab life.
Hindi kasi after
That's
yung
my guy.
after nung game ng Mavs pati Phoenix, kahit gitingnan niya ako, okay lang ata si D-book. No worry, wala mag-comfort sa kanya ba?
Ako, patayos ko si Little Wayne.
Lil Wayne.
Little Wayne, di ba he was with that kid?
Yeah.
Because he called Luca a hoe.
Oh,
Diba? And then
yeah.
like Luca, like you're not even in front of him, like was like straight.
And that was in Phoenix, right?
That was in Phoenix, and he was
yeah.
with his like nephew, and
Yeah.
you could see his nephew when he
Luca,
ankle
oh.
broke. What's his name?
Yeah.
And then the nephew's like went like this. And
Yeah.
Little Wayne must be like, how can you explain it to the kid? You basically woke up the beast.
Yeah.
You poked the bear, man.
Yeah, poke the bear.
Well, make it like a Slovenian bear.
Who is your top 3 siguro na youngest upcoming
NBA players.
NBA player?
Okay, I
Ja
say
would be there for sure.
Definitely Luca. Ja in terms of raw talent and excitement, he's there. I'm just worried about Ja's longevity.
Yeah, longevity.
He's asking for an injury, man.
Heroes.
Scary. I mean, though his frame is lighter, so his knees are not gonna take its toll that much. Like if he lands and stuff, but he has to have add serious shooting in his game. Because if he's gonna rely on that, mababasa siya. And one of these days I hope not. Because the guy has a bright future. But definitely, I would say Luka and Hold on. Who's this Cleveland guy?
Garland.
Oh, Sexton.
Scotty
Oh, no.
Barnes.
Garland.
Yeah, Darius Garland. I like Darius Garland. Like that. He's sure siya.
Yeah.
You know, sure. He just does his job. You know, he's kind of like almost like a Chris Paul type. You
Yeah.
know, like he just does his job. Nothing too flashy. Nothing too, but he gets the job done. Mautak mabilis mag-isip. He knows how to react to the situation. So I like Darius Garland in terms, and it's very
Feeling ko mga players to sa my team mo
It's
eh.
very rare. No, I don't have those guys. Not yet. Wala pang mga good cards. And probably...
Michael Olowokandi.
Dude, that's number 1 pick yan, ha? Diba? LA Clippers?
Dati.
Number 1 pick yan. One of the big busts.
Bust.
Along with, who's the guy from Cleveland?
Joe Smith.
The number 1 pick nila.
Anthony
from Canada.
Bennett.
Anthony Bennett. And, yeah. But anyways, okay, so those are 2. Let me think of another one. Yeah,
Zion.
For top 3. Oh, yeah, he's back.
Zion.
Yeah.
Payat na
And he's
kayo,
lighter.
no? Like,
And he's
kanang...
lighter.
What? Like, grabe ang
Ano?
diet niya siguro.
Oh, yeah, Zion is scary, man.
Under 25 ang ginapag-usapan.
Under
natin.
25.
Zion is scary.
Kasali ba si Tatum yan?
25 na si Tatum.
So
Yeah, hindi na kasali si Tatum.
ano naman siya? Vet vibes no ba
Yeah,
siya
vet
ba?
vibes. Kahit si
Very Kobe ang moves niya, no?
Kobe.
Talagang Kobe talaga.
Nag-Lakers, ganun siya ng jersey
Very
nung
Kobe,
ano.
man.
Ikaw. Top 3.
yeah, Zion, Luka for sure. For sure, man. High upside pero wala pa masyadong yung bago lang na draft. Sino to?
The Chet Holmgren?
Oh,
Chet
Chet.
Holmgren.
Taas ang
He's
upside.
talented, man.
Yeah, he's talented.
Pero malakas
Taas
ang
ang
loob.
upside niya.
Injured pag
Injured
payat
lang.
mo yung legs.
Pero you know what? That's actually an advantage to him. If that's gonna happen to him anytime, better now while he's
Yeah.
young and he can recover. I mean, come on, if Paul George overcame that freaking broken thingamajig
Broken
at
leg.
that stage in his career, kaya ni Chet Holmgren. What I like about Chet Holmgren is malakas ang loob.
Yeah.
And I think that's the main thing. That's you notice sa NBA, the guys who are like hot shots in college and then pagdating sa NBA, all of a sudden, balibuan. Like,
He's
all
not
of a
that
sudden, they're like, oh shoot, I'm in the ocean now. I'm no longer in a pond. And I can't excel here.
Yan lang si Jimmer Fredette.
Yeah,
Yes, of course. That guy was like a
man.
hot shot in college, man.
70 points.
Yeah.
Before Curry ba no?
Yeah.
There was
Si ano
Jimmer
din,
range.
the Georgetown guy, who's now
Georgetown.
with I think he was with the Lakers for a while. Point guard guy, McClung. Mac McClung.
McClung.
Did you ever
Mac
follow
McClung.
him on
was on the
Bleacher
high
Report?
school.
He was on the
That guy
Warriors.
was like scoring like crazy, dunking like nuts. Though he's still good. Still has the raw skills.
Release
but
na siya sa Warriors.
Maliit lang siya. Eh.
Ay, release na siya.
Oh,
Tama,
gi-release siya.
Maliit lang siya. You know.
Tama, dapat pala i-replace si Chet.
Sino
LaMelo Ball.
LaMelo. Pwede.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, LaMelo definitely.
Ako kaya, Luka Zion, tapos either Trey or LaMelo. Kaya kasi si Trey kasi,
Steve Nash like.
idol niya si Steve Nash.
Steve Nash.
Really? I
Kaya-
was thinking ang idol niya si Curry.
Yun yung parang gina-interview siya nila Stephen A. Smith, nila Max Kellerman na sino ba ang idol niya growing up? Siya na si Steve Nash. Just kanang nag-insist sila ba na, but your play style is like Curry. So are you sure it's not Curry? Like, people gotta hate to the 2-time MVP.
Yeah.
2-time MVP, pero walang championship.
Walang champion. No chips.
So I guess you can see it with him the way he can penetrate.
Yeah.
Makapenetrate siya. That little guy, no? That's what surprises me about the guy. I mean, kahit siguro i-guard mo
Sino
siya.
yan? Trey Young yan?
Si Trey, di ba? Nakakapenetrate siya, nakakapasok siya.
Kasi yung floater game niya, ang ganda.
Wasn't he the guy na pinasa ni Ben Simmons? Instead na
Oh,
i-dunk?
yeah. Siya.
Yeah.
It was him, right?
Yeah, it was him.
Tapos last year, pag yun yung time na same year ata nun, yung time na gisilent niya ang New York crowd.
Yes.
Ano siya?
Because they were dissing him. They were like,
Yeah.
I think they were F3 Young or something like that. Yeah.
Trey is balding, something like that. Tapos palagi nilang sinasabi nun, parang sinasabi nila kay Trey is balling ba? So like, karma.
Pero malakas ang loob nun. Yeah, that guy has, So that's what I'm saying. It's like sometimes pagdating na sa NBA, nawala yung lakas ng loob. That's what took Iverson to the next level. When Iverson came in, dude, he was like, he didn't care. Jordan across the wall. Dude, if he can do that against a GOAT, I mean, if he can challenge
He can do it against a cow as well.
Yeah, of course. And a horse. And a monkey and a donkey.
Well, that's humor.
When you think about it, a goat is a much lesser animal than a cow or any of those. Anybody can do that against a goat.
Everybody can do that.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Ikaw, ano,
Oh, shoot. But anyway, it's like your top 3 would be Zion.
Yeah.
I think I would, definitely, I would say Zion. You
Ikaw,
can
na
say,
trip na ako. Suberan ni mong cow ba? Butang sa highlights sa cross-court.
I can't do it against the GOAT.
Okay lang,
I
Rod.
can do it against the
good, good.
cow.
yeah, you can't say no to Zion, man. Zion's back. He has his quickness. Is crazy,
He's a
bhai.
generational
so quick.
talent.
He's so quick.
Yeah.
The only thing I wish he had, he's kind of like he's a nice guy.
Oh, bitaw na
Like,
ako.
I mean, when you see he's a nice guy, you want him to be like an a-hole from like
Yeah.
that's what I kept saying. Like, if only LeBron was a jerk, dude, the NBA, he would destroy everybody. I mean, he has that pride, but he's not quite like a mean dude.
Yeah.
Diba? If he was like Garnett, if he had the Garnett
Yeah.
mentality with the
trash
LeBron
talk and
talent
all that,
oh
yeah.
my God, he would literally be like,
Alam niyo yung dunk ni Shaq against a New York Knicks player na pag-dunk niya.
he pushed
Tinulak
na,
niya, yeah.
and the guy threw the ball back at him. Si Dudley?
Dudley,
That was
Dudley.
Dudley. Yeah. That was a 90s game, I think.
Oh.
And
It was
Dudley was so pissed
classic.
off. And when Pippen dunked on Ewing.
Oh,
and
yung Grabe.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if LeBron had, I mean, if Zion was like threw his weight around,
Oh.
like, I mean, he already has the gift. Because I'm not saying he should be that. I think it's good that he's a good example for the younger players and the young NBA fans, and he's humble and all that. But makita mo, like, Luka looks like this, like, chubby boy next door kind of mama's boy, but
Yeah.
that guy is a grit.
Uh-huh.
That guy, he mocks
Yeah.
teams. Diba? He trash talks teams. He's like, yeah, he's a European eh. He's a warrior, like Euro basketball is different.
Sabi nila mas madali daw. Sabi ni Luka, specifically Luka, mas madali makascore sa NBA kaysa sa Euro League.
Because of the rules.
Because of the rules.
Yeah.
Imagine him saying that.
Kasi sa Euro League is like allowed ang 2-3 defense. Yung like magstay ng
Walang
3,
3
walang
seconds.
defensive 3 seconds violation.
Shoot, man.
So like
that's hard.
10 points na daw yung daan.
Holy cow.
Pagdating sa NBA, parang
Oo nga, kasi magiging open na yung lane. Yeah, you get.
You just have to time it correctly.
So
though.
that's why he can afford to do a triple-double.
Yeah.
Kasi if we just focused on scoring, he'd be averaging how much?
I feel so bad for Westbrook lately.
Yeah.
Ba? Everybody wants to trade him.
Yeah, well, they won, right? Kanina?
Earlier now.
They
Suns
lost.
won.
Well, they lost to the
Yeah,
Suns.
they lost.
I didn't finish it eh.
Yeah, 2 points.
I was just reading the comments. I didn't really.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. But Pat Bev and Westbrook at least.
Yeah,
you know.
23 points in 17 minutes.
So Lakers haven't won yet.
Ano na feel mo natalo ang Phoenix Suns sa Adelaide 36ers? Shoutouts kay Kai Soto.
And I know, Kai Soto was
Kai
there.
Soto
11
shoutouts.
points.
11 points.
I wasn't really that pissed, knowing that it was a preseason game. So
And
wala siya masyadong
somebody
weight.
got hot.
Yeah,
Somebody got
somebody
hot.
got
That guy
hot, man.
kept hitting the three-point.
Man.
Somebody got hot.
Dalawa pa gid sila. It was not just one guy. There were 2 guys like shooting threes like crazy. So
Di siya normal.
yeah, it wasn't normal at all.
Naglaro ba sila, Paul, nung majority sa game?
No, they only played like 23 minutes each. Yeah.
Sino nag-end ng game?
Sila Damian Lee, Landry Shamet.
Suns na si Damon Lee.
Yeah, Suns na siya. Landry Shamet.
Landry Shamet.
I'm surprised they held on to Ayton. I thought they were gonna.
Ishway.
Actually, awkward ang kanang situation ngayon, di ba?
Yeah, awkward. It's
Awkward.
really
They're not
awkward.
talking, di ba?
Oh,
With
they're
the
not
host?
talking.
With the coach? Yeah, he's not talking with the coach.
Monty Williams. Hindi ako kasi, feel ko ang best nun sana is like, wala na lang nila, dapat before pa, resign na nila daan. I like, kaya extend na nila. Hindi na nila dapat tinabot dun sa,
Hinintay.
sa awkward situation.
Yeah.
Kaya kung gusto nila i-trade, dapat i-trade nila. Commit na ba?
There's so much happening. The Robert Sarver thing.
Yeah.
Right? So they had to sell.
The Ime Udoka one.
Yeah, the Ime
That's
Udoka.
even deeper. That's even like bigger, man.
Yeah, it's actually bigger. There were sources like it was not just harassment and all that. It was
crap, really?
yeah, it was bigger than that. Like
I thought it was just him having an
affair,
relationship with a
right?
married woman but executive though eh. The
kaya-
woman is an executive.
and maybe there were changes na hindi inalaw, para mga ganun ba. It was running deeper than it is.
Yeah, I heard Matt Bard saying that it's like a deeper thing.
Yeah.
So-
Nice ang
Nasakar
podcast
siya.
nila, Matt Barnes, no?
Oh.
Yeah.
All the
But they're all
smoke.
All the
smoke.
smoke. Oh.
Pero I think wala pa sila nakasmoke doon sa show. Ikaw more.
No, I've seen it. I've seen them.
nag-smoke
Yeah.
Sino guest nila?
Sila Steven Jackson?
Snoop Dogg yung guest.
Come on,
nun.
yeah. But yeah, I think that Mike Tyson once.
Mike Tyson.
Or Mike Tyson guested them. Mike Tyson was doing shrooms.
Chuy
Yeah.
kayo mga guest baka ng mga maragnasa lang culture ba.
Yeah.
Actually, ang background ko sana, yan yung inspired sa aking background. Ay yung aking aking color sa aking logo. Kay gusto ko na, puta, what if ang background ko sa aking studio is like, all the smoke ba?
Yeah. Or have this painted, you know?
Yeah.
But you have to check first like how well it works with the light.
Oh, yun nga. Yun ang problema. Kaya ko siya ginawang white kaya para anytime pwede ko
Neutral.
ma-change.
Tapos lang, lights lang sa baba.
Yeah.
Actually, funny masyado kasi before ako punta sa Cebu, 2 months kami dun, na start ko na to pa-renovate. Tapos like, oh shit, 2 months ako dun. So like 2 months tambay lang to.
Yeah.
Pero like, sige lang, pagbalik ko kay paningkamutan dyan ako. So kanina gilagyan ko yung flooring, tapos paint, like pangit ganun pagka-paint, gi-white ko yan, tapos like ilagyan ko na foam. Tapos like finishing touches na lang. And hopefully this October like officially ko na talaga guys, if you want to create your own content through podcast, TheCrossCourt. So
right here, heart of the city.
Yeah. Can you give me a shout out para
Of course, man. I mean, it starts with a vision, and then you have to have. It's not just having the drive and the the talent. You have to have the resources as well and the right facility, and because you have to present. I noticed I was talking to these guys before, and sabi ko, Filipinos are very visual, right?
Yeah.
I mean, pag may sumakay sa jeep, di ba? Tingin agad. Tapos amoy sa shampoo.
That's really visual.
The Filipinos are very, very visual by nature, So kahit sabihin mo podcast to and the content really is in the conversation, people just for some reason, Filipinos want to see who's talking, want to see the expression of the people conversing, and it just multiplies it by 10 or 50. And the quality of your presentation as well. And if you need a studio, which I think everybody does, I do, JD does, this guy doesn't because he already has his own, then this is the spot, all right? So check out the TheCrossCourt. If you need more details, everything's online. But I give it my endorsement, 100%. Thumbs up.
Let's go.
Thank you, bro. Also, JD, kanina ba, before tayo nag-start, yung pag-start pala natin, kaya mag-introduce ko kayo.
Yes, sir.
Tapos like, wait ko lang matapos si Rod mag-talk. Kaya para JD, sino gusto mo shoutout?
Sorry, man. I took advantage of my opportunity Binigyan niyo ako ng mic That's the biggest regret.
Understand. Tagal hindi naka-podcast.
Dapat you should have a mute button there like, let's mute Rod. So I can just keep talking.
Actually, interesting kasi masyado yung mga sinabi mo kanina. So like,
it doesn't happen every day naman. So I'm making the most of it because if I watch this, I know this is probably the best quality production podcast I've ever been a part of. So I'm gonna try to say as much as I can. And promote you guys on whatever platform I'm gonna be in.
Meron ba akong gusto i-improve pa like soundproofing, tas night times madunggan pang aircon, si JD na gina-help din ako sometimes. And tomorrow meron din akong podcast tomorrow and JD. Pwede ka bukas?
Yes, of course.
I'll give you whatever ideas, suggestions I can give you, bro. I mean, I have, like I said, yung pantry ni Mrs. kasi nagbe-bake yung wife ko. I converted it into my mini studio. Pero nangyari, nandun lahat ng mga stock ko, like yung mga books, comics, all that. So naging bodega. But it helps in the acoustics, di ba? Kasi if the room is empty, yun yung echo So since maraming gamit, medyo di ko na kailangan masyado.
Medyo echoey pa nga to. But di ko lang kung nag-work yun. Pero like, may time na ginatest ko siya, tapos like echoey siya, pero wala.
Kailangan daw damp, di ba? As a carpet.
Yeah.
Basta ano lang to, Kaizen
mga
lang
unan.
talaga. Kaizen, non-stop improvement.
Do you do post like yung sa audio or just the video na lang?
Ang ginatry ko gawin
may audio
is,
Spotify, di ba?
ang ginagawa, yung parang gawin ko siyang audio.
May audio
para
din.
Do you still edit the audio? Do you process the audio pandina?
Hindi na.
Just does it na. Malinis na yung
actually before, ginaano ko pa. Pero recently, hindi na masyado. Kasi like, maganda na kasi.
Yeah.
Like, and also it would save me time knowing na hindi lang ito yung ginagawa ko, nag-edit ako ng video. So this Saturday pala, meron inter-account sa BPO. Hindi pala pwede i-mention ang kanilang name sa BPO nila.
Hindi pwede.
Pero this Saturday, Sunday, mag-start na, we will have full games sa kanilang games, highlights, pero na sila certain page. And happy lang jud ko kay at least tungod ato kay magka-budget na ko para to add more improvement dito sa TheCrossCourt. So, pwede tayo mag-final shoutouts.
Sure.
So, Si JD mo na una kay baka
Yeah.
baka tagalan tayo kung si Rod.
Hindi lang shoutout. Life history.
Isang podcast kay Rod.
Well, first of all, shout outs to Rod for allowing us to have his
man.
presence here.
My pleasure. Thank
diba?
you. Thank you, Joel. Thank you.
Yun ang maganda, no?
Thank you, CrossCourt.
Hindi mo talaga i-separate yung self mo with the new guy. So,
No, man. You guys.
OG.
Kayo ang
really
OG
cool.
when it comes to this.
It's really cool.
I'm the new guy.
Shout out to the CrossCourt as well. Again, no, if you want to have your podcast, your aspiring podcast host, or maybe an ongoing podcast host, this is the place for you. And shout outs to my friends, the J Boys. Hi guys, kamusta kayo? My family as well, my girlfriend. Hi. So yeah, sneaker community. Hey guys.
CrossCourt.
Last shout out then.
Of course, again, to CrossCourt for giving me the opportunity to air out whatever it is I wanted to air out, whether they're interested or not. I'm always going to talk. That's what the podcast is about.
Yes,
the
sir.
heart of the podcast is talking and speaking from the heart.
Yes.
You know, that's always been my thing, and I've never been a script guy. And if
Same.
Diba? You guys came in. At first, I thought you guys were all scripted and wala pala. So straight out of my playbook. You know, like I said, I've never been a script guy, and I think that's pag nakikinig ka ng podcast kasi alam mo eh.
Oh.
Kung may scripted man, yung plugging lang. Diba? Like this episode was brought to you by blah 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 blah. Right?
Ads
Yun
lang.
lang, ads lang. But when it comes to your show, it should be from the heart. Whether the good and the bad and the ugly, whatever it is you're presenting, it should be you. And like you're right that you don't do editing, because you know why? If you do post editing with the audio and stuff, you're gonna have to be consistent with that. Kasi ang mangyayari, magiging inconsistent yung quality nung ano mo. So if it's raw and medyo may flaws, better na lang yun kasi masasana yung ears ng audience mo na yun. Like the Joe Rogan podcast. If you hear Joe Rogan like edited in a certain way, you're gonna be like, this sounds different. Diba?
Actually,
Kasi sanay na yung ears mo na pag nakinig ka ng Joe Rogan, yun yung volume ng mic, yun yung, diba? That's why when you hear it presented in another platform, parang medyo iba na, lower na yung quality. So, could be consistent.
Siya na tomorrow kasi isa sa mga one of the biggest names. I mean, aside from Rod Rodriguez, ang mag-guest ko tomorrow. So,
Yes, sir.
ay sabi ko by this time kay napalabas na rin yung show yung amot kung kilala niyo si Samboy, content creator sa Davao na may 350k followers.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a
Tapos
lot.
like wala ko taga-Ateneo kasi siya, gi-chat ko siya. Tapos like thankful lang ako na
Humor? Ang content niya? Is it humor?
humor. Pero grabe ka creative, kaganda ng cinematography. Basta like kanang
Really?
hindi siya yung parang iPhone lang like kanang gabi ka ganda ng writing, parang effort talaga. Effort talaga.
This
Pero
guy?
yeah.
Let me see.
Samboy.
Wow.
Like legit.
Wow, look
4K
at that.
followers.
Like
man.
promise by like
Okay, this
legit
guy.
funny.
Yeah, the long hair guy.
Shoutouts to you, Sambo. Hopefully, dayon taog ma-chat ka
That
niya.
dude.
And yeah, also shoutouts to all the listeners of the CrossCourt podcast. Shoutouts sa aking girlfriend na nagatulong ngayon. Also shoutouts sa lahat ng players na gina-cover ng the CrossCourt. We will be launching our website soon. Andun naka-feature yung mga local players dito sa Davao kaya para
Nice.
mas may exposure and ma-discover ng college team sa Manila or mga dito lang kahit dito sa Mindanao. And hopefully mas madami ma-cover. And the CrossCourt podcast will grow and grow and grow. Kailangan lang more marketing and execution from me. Pero wala ako maglihok. Pero kailangan ako maglihok. So, thank you guys. Thank you Rod.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rod. Thank you, JD.
Thanks.
To end this podcast, we are the CrossCourt, and so are you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Bye.
Guys.
Yan ka na.
Picture mo na